Well, Porter Airlines is announcing and planning a multi-billion-dollar North American expansion. Of course, the timing is interesting because we're still getting through this pandemic, and of course, air travel has been affected. It's our pleasure to welcome the president and CEO of Porter Airlines onto the program. Michael Deluce is on the line. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Elias. Thanks for having me today.
It's great to chat with you. We love talking on this segment, our in-transit segment, with some of the movers and shakers in transit-related industries. First things first, Michael, just what are you planning at Porter Airlines?
So we've had a couple significant announcements over the last 2 weeks. First, we announced that Porter will be relaunching its regional operations on September 8th. Primarily out of Billy Bishop Airport, and that includes obviously popular flights such as our Montreal to downtown Toronto Billy Bishop Airport flights. And we anticipate having a full network schedule in place by October 6th. That really represents all the destinations we served pre-pandemic. So we're obviously encouraged about the course of the pandemic and what we anticipate is a near sort of conclusion of some of the restrictions on travel and movement, and so we're excited about that relaunch. And then earlier this week, we announced that during the middle part of 2022, we'll start taking the first of up to 80 brand new state-of-the-art fuel-efficient E195 E2 aircraft, which are jet aircraft with a seat between 120 to 146 passengers, and extremely comfortable, state-of-the-art, quiet, environmentally friendly aircraft, and that will help Porter expand its footprint beyond its current footprint and really offer flights coast to coast in Canada, United States, including U.S. sun destinations and Mexico and the Caribbean. And we intend to deploy the aircraft from Ottawa, Montreal, Halifax, and as well Toronto Pearson for the first time.
Michael, you brought up the airplanes that you're purchasing here, these Embraer airplanes. That will bring me to this question because there are some people that are saying, "Hey, why didn't you buy the Airbus A220, the former Bombardier plane, right? That probably would have had more of an economic impact in this country." Tell me about this choice. Why this plane was a better choice for your airline than something that could help out, our local manufacturing here.
Well, the exciting part about the Embraer E2 platform that we have proceeded with is that it actually has an incredibly high component of Canadian manufactured content, including the Pratt & Whitney geared turbofan engine that is built in Quebec. So it actually does have a substantially positive impact on Canadian aerospace and certainly the Quebec aerospace market, so we're excited about that. We have previously looked at the A220, and the A220 is a great aircraft. The E2 is a newer platform that was not available back when we first considered the A220, and for a host of reasons, including the Canadian content that made us feel comfortable with the support it would have for Canadian jobs, we did proceed with the Embraer aircraft, but we very much think the A220 as well is a fantastic plane.
We're with Michael Deluce, President and CEO of Porter Airlines, talking about a major planned expansion of Porter Airlines. Let's talk about the impact for Montreal's Trudeau Airport, Pierre-Elliott Trudeau Airport. Michael, how do you see this impacting operations there, and what kind of flights can our listeners expect coming out of Trudeau Airport?
So in September, we'll be relaunching our flights to both Halifax and Billy Bishop Toronto City Airport out of Montreal Trudeau Airport. And as we move into 2022 and 2023, as we start taking a substantial amount of the Embraer fleet of aircraft, we'll be looking at deployment of nonstop flights from Montreal to key business and leisure destinations across North America. So that will be a key component of our future expansion plans, and I think ultimately will provide, obviously, greater choice and elevate service for passengers in the Montreal area.
Michael, why is now a good time for expansion? I know there's optimism about a rebound. Obviously, post pandemic, you've alluded to that, but this is still costly. This is going to cost a lot of money. Is there government help coming here? Is it part of the fact that you've received so much government help over the last little while through the pandemic that allows you to do this? Get more into that.
So Porter was fortunate to go into the pandemic with a very strong balance sheet. We've suspended operations for 16 months, which has put us in a relatively strong position versus our competitors. We do not believe that the pandemic is a permanent impairment on air travel. If you look at jurisdictions such as the United States, air traffic has actually rebounded very significantly as they come out of the pandemic impact. So, really, this is a bet on the future. And with the aircraft really coming, starting midway through 2022, I think it could be a much more constructive time period for airlines to operate and is sort of ideally suited to partake and really help shape the recovery from this pandemic.
I'm looking at a map that was part of your announcement this week of future destinations. You've mentioned a few of them, but what are some of these spots that you'll be flying to that would excite our listeners and perhaps that you're excited about the potential and about the future for new destinations?
So we haven't announced specific initial routes and certainly not, excuse me, we haven't announced any specific routes from Montreal yet. Or any destination, but will as we lead up to first delivery. But Porter will be able to, with this aircraft, operate across North America from Montreal to nonstop destinations, popular business and leisure destinations in Canada, the U.S., Mexico, and the Caribbean. So I think you'll see a lot more choice to a lot of destinations, and we look forward to that.
On the hiring front, does this mean substantial hiring?
With the full 80 aircraft order, Porter will hire roughly an additional 6,000 Canadian airline jobs, which is great and obviously helps support the economic recovery as we come out of this pandemic.
Michael, I want to thank you for coming on the program and joining In Transit. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Michael Deluce, President and CEO of Porter Airlines.